This is my video on automatic water changes. This is my fish room. It is small, 9 feet by 11 feet. For efficiency and savings in electricity. So it's basically set up for me to breed fish. The whole thing is run by a single air pump, which drives all the sponge filters. There's no heaters in the tanks, just this electric heater that heats the room. The lights, tank lights, there's no tank lights during the day until I come in, and then I press this button and the lights are on for that much time and then they go off. So because I've stacked the tanks the way I have, the ambient light in the room gives them plenty enough to live and feed and be fish, but I can't really see them, so I hit that light and that turns it on. It is pretty basic. It's on for 2 hours a night in 15-minute bursts. But what it does is it operates this solenoid valve, which is on a cold water line. So this is my water coming into the room, hot water, cold water. It's just teed, goes through the solenoid, so when the timer is on, that allows water to flow through, pressurizing the system. So that it doesn't overpower the drippers. That goes out to a line which runs in a square around the ceiling of the room. I used low pressure sprinkler hosing. If I did this again, and I might actually change this up in the near future, I'd do it with PVC, because the little nipples that attach to the hoses didn't connect well, and I had to silicone them in place. It's all working good now, but it's a bit of a pain. So for the drippers, I have these little things. They're called drip emitters. You get them from Gemco, and the red ones are metered at half a gallon per hour, and the black ones are 1 gallon per hour. And then on the bigger tanks, I've got green ones as well. They go at 2 gallons per hour. Depending on the stocking of the stocking level of the tanks, I can double these up. So this tank here, for instance, has both a black one and a red one, because I've got a whole pile of fish in there. So that's pretty much the water inside of things. Next up is the water out. So if you look at the backs of the tanks, you might not be able to see it very well, but up there is a sponge stuck to the back. So that sponge is covering the overflow, and it prevents the small fry from getting sucked out into the pipe. It comes out the back into an elbow that just runs straight down into the drain. Each tank has its own drain going straight out, and then that runs around the room and down to my sump, which is just a tank hanging out down there. It's got a pump in it, and it's got a float valve, or a float switch, which kicks it on when the thing gets full, so I can make it go on by just pulling it up. So there, that's on now, and it'll drain until that tips down and turns off. You can kind of see it going. What that does is it pumps the water up again to the ceiling and out. Because I'm on a septic system, it has to run out of the room and out to the septic, or during the summertime, I direct it through this little valve to go out onto the lawn. So the bigger tanks don't have the sponge, and you can just see it's a little basket that keeps the fish from getting sucked out. On the big tanks, I was too chicken to to drill them. And so what it is it's a double overflow, a double loop PVC overflow. You can't really see it because it's behind the tank, but that basically comes up, goes down, loops back up, and then there's a T, and that sets the height of the water. The problem with these things is that they sometimes become unprimed, and so to solve that, I've got this little siphon starter, and I just put that on the end of that pipe. And then I cover this end, give it a couple pumps, and then when I hear it sucking, that's good to go. That's pretty much the long and the short of it. It's pretty simple. I got pretty much all these parts from Gemco in the States, gemco.com, and they're really good. Everything I needed was there. They're basically designed to help people set up fish rooms. So that's about that. Let me know if you have any questions.